Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Vorldrevolution as always. Today, I'm introducing a book related to attraction, brainwaves, and the outcomes they create in life. Good Vibes. Good Life uses positive energy to attract happiness, employing the law of vibration to draw positive energy around you, helping you achieve happiness and greater goals than you've ever dreamed of. This book is written by Vex King. The reason I'm bringing this book up is that I believe the mind and emotions are deeply connected. If you've heard of the law of attraction or vibrations, I'm someone who believes that no matter what you think, your thoughts will eventually lead you to the results you've imagined. One secret to achieving greatness is understanding the law of vibration, which states that everything in the universe is made of vibrations. Only vibrations of the same frequency can attract each other. I've explored the relationships around me and heard a saying that the people closest to you are those whose thought frequencies align with yours. If someone's frequency is different, they won't resonate with you, and you won't attract them. If you want to succeed, work on improving yourself, developing a positive mindset, and raising your brainwaves and mental vibrations. This will help you attract success. Every time you listen to my content, you're essentially creating vibrations in your brain. I'm confident that if you've been following me from the beginning, listening to my podcast since I started, you'll see positive changes in your life. As a content creator, I also benefit from this process. While writing scripts and sharing stories, I develop myself and gain mental clarity. This book is an inspirational work, praised worldwide as a spiritual guide for the new generation. It helps align your emotional frequency with positive energy to attract happiness and success beyond your dreams. The book raises thought-provoking questions, such as how to remove toxic relationships from your life or how to handle family members who don't support your dreams. These are common questions I receive, especially about relationships with family. The book also discusses how to know when to fight for a goal or let it go. It talks about vibrations or vibes, short for vibration, which isn't just a belief but rooted in science. Everything in the physical world comes from atoms with specific frequencies, and our minds also have atoms. You attract things that match your frequency. If you often face failure or sadness, your brainwaves might be attracting those experiences. Start by changing your mindset and your frequency will rise. We often notice that our friends or relationships share similar thoughts and beliefs because our subconscious frequencies attract them. This book by Vex King emphasizes frequency and explains why your subconscious and thought frequencies determine the outcomes in your life, often beyond your imagination. Stop trying to impress others and focus on impressing yourself. Strive to be the best version of yourself. Self-love has two balanced components. The first is unconditional self-love, focusing on your mindset and truths. You won't love yourself more by losing weight or achieving external goals. True self-love is being content with where you are, not about changing your appearance. The second component is promoting growth. While the first component is about contentment, the second is about progress. This balance is key to a fulfilling life. Promoting growth involves taking action to improve yourself, which is an act of self-love. Whether it's exercising, resting well, eating healthy, or developing your mindset, these actions show self-love. True self-love is about valuing yourself, whether through good food, self-care, or healthy relationships. A crucial aspect of self-love is acceptance, being content with who you are while striving to be better. Self-love is about being yourself and freeing yourself. Now, let's connect this to the law of attraction. This book links it interestingly. If you're new to the law of attraction, here's a brief explanation. You attract what you focus on. If you think about something clearly and long enough, you'll attract it into your life. This is the essence of the law of attraction. Everything in your life stems from your thoughts. The person who introduced me to this law was Bandit Unglang, and it profoundly changed my life. What you think becomes reality. You can attract what you want by focusing on it seriously. This works for both what you want and what you don't want. For example, if someone constantly thinks about negative events and focuses emotionally on them, they'll likely experience those events. This isn't an exaggeration. Our subconscious attracts everything in our lives, even if we're unaware of it. If you remember, I often say that your beliefs define the limits of your success. However, human nature is emotionally fluctuating. The law of attraction works best when you're in a positive mindset, but it's not easy to maintain positivity all the time. We're human, and it's natural to feel down or negative sometimes. When I face challenges or life doesn't go as planned, maintaining positivity is tough. The author notes that many people see themselves as positive thinkers, but even Vex King struggled with positivity during tough times. I'm sure you can relate. Sometimes, external situations make it hard to stay positive. These moments show that everyone faces good and bad times. Even if you don't get everything you want, better things often come later. If you recall my article on the subconscious and life success, I mentioned that when you're in a negative state, your subconscious shuts down, and you miss opportunities, only seeing obstacles. Controlling your emotions and maintaining a positive mindset is always better than negativity. Sometimes, when negativity overwhelms you, try to find opportunities in those challenges. I can confidently say that when I work with negative emotions, I attract obstacles and miss success. Take care of your emotions, your happiness matters most. Happiness isn't something you chase, but something you attract. Emotions are one of the most powerful vibrations you can control. Our goal is to seek happiness and positive emotions. What we seek in life is good vibrations. When you feel good, life improves. Change how you think, feel, speak, and act, and you'll start changing your world. In the first chapter, I emphasize that the first thing to control is your emotions. You can't control them 100%, but with enough practice, self-awareness, and self-esteem, your emotions won't overly dictate your actions. Now, let's look at the second part of Good Vibes, an optimistic lifestyle. The book extensively discusses vibrations, which I'll briefly explain. Everything is made of atoms, which are vibrations. All matter and energy are vibrations by nature, and our emotions can transmit vibrations too. Think about being around someone with negative thoughts. Even if they don't say anything, you can feel their negative vibrations. When you respond to vibrations, you start attracting those realities. The best way to gauge your state is by observing your emotions or practicing self-awareness. I encourage you to check your emotions before getting upset, as it helps you understand your mental vibrations and become more emotionally aware. Paying attention to your emotions reveals the true nature of vibrations and what you attract into your life. If you feel good, you'll think positively and act accordingly. I've talked about optimism before. It doesn't guarantee success in everything, but it helps. But maintaining an optimistic outlook always yields better results than a pessimistic one. You can shift your emotional state through various activities that increase the vibrations in your brain. Another effective method is meditation. Meditation helps you become more aware of your inner state and can completely transform your brain's functioning over time. Even deep meditation on low vibration emotions can help you shift to higher vibration states. Meditation might even help you view conflicts with friends in a more positive light. There's a rule about vibrations. We tend to attract people with similar vibrational frequencies. If you have a growth mindset and positive vibrations, you'll attract like-minded, progressive individuals. Conversely, if you predominantly think negatively and hold a fixed mindset, resisting change and growth, you'll attract people with similar limiting beliefs. Now, let's talk about how body language affects your emotions. The author suggests a simple yet effective technique. Even if you're feeling down or in an uncomfortable situation, try forcing a smile. Even if you're not genuinely happy at that moment, your body language can influence your brain. A 2003 study showed that faking a smile can trick your brain into releasing endorphins, the happiness hormone. I recall reading 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, where the first rule is to stand up straight with your shoulders back. Slouching, even if you're not truly unhappy, can make your brain feel down. Your external posture not only makes you look better, but also significantly impacts your emotions and subconscious. So, sit up straight, shoulders back, and try forcing a smile occasionally. Even if you're not happy, your body can influence your mind. It's easier to control your body than your mind, and by acting like someone who feels good, your internal state and vibrations will improve. Amy Cuddy, a renowned social psychologist, conducted research showing that body language doesn't just affect how others see us, but also how we see ourselves. If I asked you to mimic the posture of someone stressed, you'd know exactly how to do it, slouched, head down. But if I asked you to mimic someone confident and happy, you'd also know how to do that. Think about how happy, confident people carry themselves. Their posture, facial expressions, hand gestures, and tone of voice. You can adopt these behaviors immediately because your body is the easiest thing to control. This is why I often emphasize making your body the leader of your mind. No matter how much you train your mind, it's not easy to control it 100%. Body language makes this process much simpler. Next, let's discuss avoiding gossip and drama. Vex King points out that everyone, at some point, enjoys gossiping about others, sometimes without even realizing it. I admit that in large social settings, gossip can be entertaining. While it might not seem harmful at first, frequent gossip can negatively impact your life. It shifts your focus to others' lifestyles and encourages negativity. Humans are drawn to the excitement of hearing and sharing sensational stories about others, but gossip lowers your vibrations and attracts undesirable experiences. News outlets profit from gossip by sensationalizing others' misfortunes. While it's socially accepted, no one likes being the subject of gossip. If you can learn from negative news intelligently, you might gain insights, but consuming such content for entertainment will only fill your subconscious with negativity, eventually manifesting in your life. So, remove yourself from conversations that focus on others' flaws, especially negative ones. People who gossip often complain and remain stuck in their misery. The more you adopt these habits, the more you'll lose faith in life. I encourage you to reflect on your relationships. If your interactions are filled with gossip and complaints, you'll feel increasingly discouraged. Now, let's move to the final 6 points of this chapter. I want you to understand the importance of gratitude. Vex King writes beautifully about this. Before complaining about school, remember that some people don't even have the opportunity to study. Before complaining about gaining weight, remember that some people don't have enough food to eat. Before complaining about work, remember that some people don't even have jobs. Before complaining about cleaning your house, remember that some people don't have a place to live. Before complaining about doing the dishes, remember that some people don't even have access to clean water. Before posting complaints on social media, take a moment to appreciate how fortunate you are. I've studied some of the most successful people in the world, and they all agree that greatness starts with gratitude. As I've grown older, I've come to understand that you can't feel fulfilled without appreciating what you have. Practicing gratitude not only raises your vibrations to attract better things, but also helps you see things as they truly are. We often compare ourselves to others, usually those who seem more fortunate, rather than those less fortunate. Think about the people living in war zones right now. We often take our safety and privileges for granted. The more you count your blessings, the more blessings you'll find to count. Many of us expend energy on fear, but focusing on fear only attracts more of what you fear. Instead, use that energy to solve problems, and your fears will diminish. The universe is abundant in every way. Fear is the only limitation you impose on yourself. Finally, let's discuss the third part of this episode, putting your happiness first. Your happiness must come before everything else. If you're not happy, your vibrations will lower, attracting more negativity. Distancing yourself from people who drain your energy isn't selfish or a sign of weakness. Life is about balance. Showing kindness while not letting others take advantage of your kindness. Is prioritizing yourself selfish? Sometimes it might seem so, like taking 2 slices of cake when there are 8 people. However, putting yourself first in certain matters is crucial. You need energy to give to others, but you must also reserve some for yourself. You came into this world alone, and you'll leave alone. The longest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself, so nurture that relationship first before tending to others. Only those who are spiritually developed can consistently show unconditional love. If you're not there yet, surrounding yourself with toxic people will drain your energy and leave you feeling exhausted. When you're around positive people, you'll see the good in life. Sometimes you need to cut out those who harm you because they're toxic and hinder your growth. If you're constantly fed negativity, you'll lose yourself. Even a plant won't thrive in toxic soil. It needs the right environment to grow beautifully. If you find yourself surrounded by toxic people and feel the urge to pass on the pain they've caused you, ask yourself, is prioritizing yourself in this situation selfish? Or are the selfish ones those who expect you to tolerate their toxicity? Ending relationships with energy-draining people isn't easy, but once they're out of your life, positivity will flow through you. You'll have the time and space to heal and grow, becoming stronger. The most important relationship you have is with yourself, and there's no excuse not to free yourself from toxic patterns. First, identify which habits are harmful to others or even yourself. For example, when you're irritable, you might blame others for not meeting your expectations, using your mood as an excuse to hurt them. This is irresponsible. Everyone has bad days, and your actions can make others feel worse, spreading negativity. In the final topic of this episode, let's talk about relationships, whether with friends or family. Vex King advises surrounding yourself with people who make you feel at ease and add value to your life. Remove those who don't. Having fewer but better relationships means gaining more quality in your life. Remove those who do not belong, as having fewer people means gaining something better from the start. What we call social networks has become one of the influences in our lives. The definition of the word friend has changed. Friends may no longer be people you know well, but could become virtual images that affect the concept of friendship in society. Nowadays, we tend to call almost everyone friends, even those we've met just once during a night out. These people may have had heartbreaks. We look at whether these people have real friends who stand by them when needed. Unfortunately, most of the time, it's just images. Modern friendships are not about emotional support or family-like relationships, but are centered around drinking, smoking, partying, shopping, gossiping, and sometimes even habits that reduce the emotional impact of others. Sometimes we have friendships that exist more out of convenience than meaningful connections. Check if the friends you have are the ones who truly encourage you, cheer for you when you succeed, or support you in making good choices. Does this friend help you grow? If you're not sure and it's just an image, it might not be as good as you think. A moment ago, I asked you, the listeners, to reflect on the kind of relationships that elevate friendships to the level of family. I understand that not everyone has a family that acts as a safe zone, supporting them in every way. I understand this well. You might have outgrown your clothes, started new hobbies, left jobs, ended friendships, or even distanced yourself from family members. We've gone through past experiences that didn't bring joy and have helped improve our lives many times over. Being part of the same family doesn't always mean they have your best interests at heart. We're often told that family is the most important, but biological relationships aren't always caring or close. Sometimes, Friends can be more like family than your actual family. You should start acknowledging that sometimes family members can become the most toxic people in your life. Ending such relationships can be the most heartbreaking, even if it makes us feel bad. It's hard to find a valid reason to end a relationship with family, especially when they've done so much for you throughout your life. But sometimes you don't have to cut ties completely. Instead, communicate and let them know how you feel. You'd be surprised how many people don't realize their toxic behavior toward others. Once they realize they've hurt someone, they often change. If you're lucky, no one in your family has seen success from dropping out of college and building a successful business. If that's the case, your perspective might be entirely new to them. People tend to fear what they don't understand. So, if you want your family to understand you, try to understand what your loved ones have been through and what causes their worries or sarcasm. However, whenever you feel their beliefs are limiting you, you might need to present another perspective. You can't force others to believe what you believe, but if you want them to agree, you need to build trust. This is as much work for you as it is for them. Try to open up and share how you feel, involve them in planning, and explain more information. Make sure they know you've thought ahead about what might happen if things don't work out. If you can't prove that you're serious about what you want to do, you can't expect others to take your aspirations seriously either. But if you're unfortunate enough to encounter extreme behavior from family members, such as physical or emotional abuse, remember that you're not here to suffer from anyone's actions or words in this world, no matter your relationship with them. Pretending that their harmful behavior is acceptable will only turn into a danger within itself. If destructive behavior repeats, you have every right to cut ties without regret, because you weren't born to live up to anyone's expectations. This is a lesson from the book Good Vibes, Good Life, which I've summarized for you, the listeners. This is the first part of my summary, and there will be an episode 2. Episode 2, The Law of Vibration and the Law of Attraction. Whatever you think about, if you focus on it and pour your emotions into it, whether it's something you desire or fear, it will eventually manifest in your life. Before diving deeper into the content, I want to share a thought-provoking question with you. If you were asked to list everything you love or feel grateful for, how long would it take before you mention yourself? Or perhaps, you might not even mention yourself at all. This question made me pause and reflect. Have I been taking care of myself enough? If you feel like you haven't, you're not alone. Many people get caught up in societal expectations and forget to prioritize themselves. I often remind my listeners that it's not about what success looks like to others, but about what you truly want. Make sure your goals and dreams are your own, not someone else's. Too often, we chase other people's dreams and forget why we're here in the first place. By the time we realize it, we're exhausted, running after someone else's vision of success. That's why I always emphasize the importance of prioritizing yourself. You're not always going to be important to others, so you need to be important to yourself. Learn to be content with your own company, take care of yourself, and be your own support system. Your needs matter. Start fulfilling them yourself instead of relying on others. It's true that when someone acknowledges your talents, when your work pays off, or when people praise your achievements, it feels good. It makes you feel accepted, loved, and valued. But we often get so caught up in pleasing others to prove our worth that we lose ourselves. We create financial pressure by buying things we don't need just to impress people who don't even care about us. We change ourselves to fit in instead of changing the world by being ourselves. We alter our natural beauty to meet societal expectations, chasing endless external goals while neglecting our spiritual growth. This is a rough summary of the second part of the book I'm discussing. Society often defines success as fame, wealth, and owning expensive things. But if you can free yourself from this mindset, that in itself is a tremendous success. Remember, you're already winning every day you don't give up and make it to the next day. You're achieving greatness daily, even if you don't realize it, because you're too focused on what's ahead. Many of the things you've accomplished today were once your dreams. You just didn't notice when they happened, or they came too quickly. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. We remember every mistake but rarely acknowledge our successes. I've been guilty of this too. I often focus on my failures and don't appreciate my strengths or talents enough. It takes practice to be grateful for your abilities and to strive to be the best version of yourself. Everyone has successes and failures. You should always encourage yourself. If you've achieved something others or even you thought was impossible, be proud. You've worked hard to get where you are today. Acknowledging this will bring you satisfaction and raise your vibrations. What makes you stand out, what makes you you, is your personality, your uniqueness. Living according to others' beliefs will make you feel like you're constantly meeting their expectations, suppressing your true self. But no one's life should have such limitations. Whether you live for yourself or others, you'll be judged either way. People will call you quiet if you're happy in silence, weak if you avoid conflict, obsessed if you're passionate about something, crazy if you think differently, and materialistic if you value money. If you distance yourself from negative people, they'll call you arrogant. Let them label you however they want. Don't play the role they want you to play. Create your own role, your own story, your own legend. In this chapter, the author advises comparing yourself only to yourself. Don't worry about what others are doing. Your life isn't about them. It's about you. Instead of spending time and energy focusing on others' lifestyles, start paying attention to your own life. That's how you begin your journey. In Chapter 5, the book emphasizes that emotions come back to you equally. You need to master everything you've learned in the previous chapters. Your beliefs are the foundation of making your dreams come true. If you don't believe in yourself, you're unlikely to see those things manifest in your life. Let's explore the importance of the beliefs we hold. The power of positive thinking. If you believe that everything will turn out well, your beliefs will guide you there. Positive thinking is a choice, not about ignoring reality. Think about it. If you view something negatively, how can it become positive? Often, we dwell on negative thoughts and feel bad about them, which makes us see obstacles instead of opportunities. A positive mindset is always better than a negative one. Positive thinking involves choosing thoughts and actions that support rather than hinder you, leading to the best outcomes in any situation. On the other hand, negative thoughts, like believing you can't do something or that you'll fail, hold you back and make it harder to achieve your goals. But if you think positively, believing you can succeed, you're more likely to try and achieve your goals. One thought limits you, while another brings you closer to what you want. Which one will you choose? These are choices you can make. Believing something is impossible means you're focusing too much on the obstacles to success. The author shares a story about a boy who thought he couldn't play soccer at a high level and wanted to give up on his dream. He had no reason to believe in himself because, from where he stood, it seemed impossible. Meanwhile, his friend, who had similar skills, had a completely opposite attitude. When asked why he believed he could play at a high level, the optimistic boy talked about other successful soccer players and their stories. He focused on possibilities, not impossibilities. Many times, I found myself in situations where I couldn't see a way out or any hope. Many of the things I've accomplished seemed impossible at the time, but I drew inspiration from people who started with nothing and achieved incredible things. I told myself, if they can do it, why can't I? I shifted my focus to what I could do rather than what I couldn't, focusing on opportunities instead of obstacles. It's never too late to change your thoughts and beliefs to support rather than hinder you. You can't move forward with thoughts that hold you back. There's a quote I love sharing with my listeners. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. This is by Henry Ford, and I love it because whatever you believe, it's always true for you. Immanuel Kant, a philosopher, said over 200 years ago that all our experiences, Every color, sensation, and object we see are representations in our minds. Reality is based on our perspective. If you ask 100 people to describe a large rock in 5 different ways, listeners might think there are 500 different rocks. But in reality, it's the same rock viewed in 500 different ways. No matter how you see the world, it's rooted in your beliefs. These beliefs are truths specific to individuals. At their core, humans are systems of beliefs. Beliefs are feelings that something might be true, a form of passive perception. We live based on beliefs shaped by our experiences and accumulated knowledge. These beliefs make people see the world differently, but we grow when we open ourselves to others' beliefs. This is an important point. If you choose to stay within your own beliefs and never open yourself to new ones, you'll never grow. Changing old beliefs is okay if new ones offer a better perspective and more energy, but you shouldn't change beliefs just because of others. We should question old beliefs. Do they help us live the life we want? How many of these beliefs are truly ours, and how many have been imposed on us by others? If I were to talk about beliefs imposed by others, I could go on all day, especially in Asian societies where we're raised with certain beliefs from childhood. When we question them, we're often met with negative reactions, making us afraid to challenge or change them. Your mind creates your reality. So, if someone tells you that your goals are unrealistic and asks you to come back to reality, remember that their reality is theirs, not yours. As we know from the law of vibration, if you believe in negativity, you'll attract negativity. Vex King shares a personal example from his late teenage years. He wanted to be rich and famous, so he studied successful people to understand their beliefs. He noticed that successful people think differently, they're positive, have a growth mindset, and talk about charity, respect, and health. When he looked at successful people worldwide, he realized their core beliefs were strikingly similar. He remembered that he had studied revolutionary leaders, and some would say that beliefs create the life we desire. It's a small thing. He told himself to believe that it was true, through a mindset that limits possibilities and prevents your dreams from ultimately coming true. Now, you listeners might wonder, if we have ingrained beliefs, how can we change them to support our success? It's about words. It's about using words to encourage yourself, because what you say gradually becomes reality. You have the power to speak truths into existence. Don't underestimate the power of words. Inspirational words are affirmations about what you desire to achieve. By repeating something passionately and repeatedly, it will embed a belief deep into your subconscious. In today's society, your relationships are what affect your vibrational energy the most. The more time you spend in toxic or negative relationships, your energy will align with those bad relationships. Conversely, if you live with good relationships that foster a growth mindset, you'll see more and more good fortune. Many times, if you're constantly told you can't achieve something, you'll eventually believe it. It depends on the environment you choose to be in, because maintaining high vibrational energy is something you must do throughout your life. This game has no finish line. If you say encouraging words when you feel good, you'll have more motivation to move forward, even if you don't actually feel good at that moment. Can still boost your energy. Additionally, saying something you truly feel out loud can change your state. No matter how you feel at that moment, you should choose words that encourage you, as if you're telling a true story to a friend. What we resist often persists, because the energy we release to avoid it tends to come back to us. For example, you might start saying you're confident in what you're doing and that you'll succeed in your efforts. By acting as if the goal is already real, your subconscious will believe it, and you'll act accordingly. However, emotional investment is more important than time. So, I urge you listeners to speak as if you truly mean what you say to yourself. If you want to succeed, you might say you're a successful person. If you want to take care of your health, you might tell yourself you're a healthy person who loves health. Even if you're not yet what you want to be, making your subconscious believe you are will lead you to act on that belief. This is the importance of belief. The broader your belief in success, the wider your perspective, and that becomes the ceiling of your success. You'll notice that people with a fixed mindset, who believe in outdated ideas that haven't been rethought, can't achieve beyond those limits. I'm sure you listeners have seen examples of this in real life. In part 6 of this book, Making What You Hope for a Reality, the key isn't where you are but what you do in that position. I believe in taking action and creating momentum toward your goals, which is different from taking big leaps. You can move forward with small steps. However, full dedication is still a good thing. Many people don't want to leave their comfort zones, but the moment we're not ready is often the best time to start something we're afraid of. If you want something, you must take action. Don't wait until you're tested by pain because it will delay the results of achieving your dreams. Start by asking yourself how much you want to achieve your goal. Do you want the goal more than the process to get there? Step out of your comfort zone and face your fears. You grow when you face challenges, not when you're comfortable. I'm confident I'll grow to another level because any obstacle that doesn't kill you will ultimately make you stronger. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is minimal. Extraordinary people complete tasks even when they don't feel like it because they're serious about their goals. When you pursue your goals with enthusiasm, you'll naturally be driven to succeed, especially in the early stages. Whether it's starting to lose weight or exercise, we feel motivated at first, but over time, that fire of inspiration fades. I'm not saying you'll never feel discouraged, but if you maintain high energy and keep increasing it, you'll find motivation more easily. Thinking about taking action might lower your energy if you're not in the mood to do it. Maintaining motivation isn't always easy, especially after setbacks on bad days. Motivation comes and goes. Low motivation might mean you need time to recharge or seek inspiration outside. Everything seems easier when you're in the mood to do it, but if you want a better life and more success than others, you must put in the same effort even when you don't feel like it. It's about discipline. Successful people, I'm sure, have moments when they don't feel like working on their goals. They feel lazy, but they still choose to act. Even with health, I'm sure those who've maintained their health for a while don't feel like exercising or eating healthy every day. Some days we're not in the mood, but maintaining discipline is what sets you apart from others. Your discipline is the only free thing that gives you freedom in life. In the next topic, the word later is the main word we often use to procrastinate. You need to adjust your strategy. Doing small things like finishing a report might be easy, but it's more challenging to achieve bigger goals like building an online business, starting to take care of your health, or getting in shape. Start by making your goals specific. If you want to exercise, it might make you reluctant to start, but once you achieve smaller goals, you'll gain confidence for bigger ones. Our bodies have 4 hormones that make us feel good: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. Mostly, dopamine drives us to take action toward goals and creates happiness when we succeed. When you lack enthusiasm for work, it means your dopamine levels are low. Start by improving at least 1% daily, becoming better than yesterday, better than the person you used to be. You'll overcome it. Your brain releases dopamine every time you achieve a goal, and you'll feel confident to take on other goals. Suppose today you ran 5 kilometers. Tomorrow, aim for more than 5 kilometers, even if it's just 100 meters more. Try to improve in whatever area you want, even if it's just a little better than yesterday. Achieving great success overnight is much harder than succeeding in something gradually. Pain and determination. Life doesn't fight you because you're weak. It fights you because you're strong. It knows that if it gives you pain, you'll realize the strength you have. Aristotle, the great Greek philosopher, once said that everything happens for a reason. You can consider this idea to reflect on how every experience in life is designed to shape and help you grow into your own best version. Even terrible experiences can be opportunities for growth, rather than times of suffering. If you often see yourself as a victim when bad things happen, life will keep making you a victim. So, don't let circumstances dictate your future. I believe that all of us have gone through at least one extremely difficult time. Anyone can have bad days. However, just because you don't see the hidden reason behind challenging moments doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The past cannot be changed, but we can change how we view ourselves. Shifting our mindset helps us believe that everything that happens to us actually happens for us, not to harm us or to do anything against us. It happens for us. Once you start shifting your perspective to a positive one, your life will improve. If we don't change, we'll lose our vibrancy and eventually fall into a low vibrational state. If I were to talk about the experiences that caused me pain and how I grew from them, I could speak all day to you listeners. Life tests you before giving you good things. Some of the best transformations in life come from the most painful experiences. We need to face the downturns in life to gain wisdom, strength, and the knowledge necessary for the upturns. Whenever you face a downturn or a journey toward change, life might confuse you, and it may seem challenging and difficult. It's hard to trust the process and believe that good things will happen. But remember, applying the lessons you've learned along the way will help you choose better paths to move forward. If you've been heartbroken before, you might decide to be more careful when choosing a partner. Could lead you to find your true match, someone better for you than the unreliable ones. Sometimes you need to look back at past events in your life and start connecting the dots. There might be reasons for each event. If you look closely, everything might be interconnected. If that's the case, rest assured that every future event happens for you, with a purpose, whether it brings pain or happiness. I really like the content in this chapter. Lessons repeat themselves. Life will control you, corner you, kick you when you're down, and even stomp on you repeatedly. But you'll still survive and move forward in a new, better form because you've overcome challenges that some find overwhelming. Sometimes we encounter the same obstacles and problems over and over again. It might be because we haven't truly learned the lessons from the past. The best way to ensure someone has learned a lesson is to test them more than once. You might have easily passed a recent lesson because it was still fresh. If you pray for a situation you've just faced, even if it was terrible and you wish it would change, remember that you're in that situation so you can change and grow into a better person. Life gives you lessons in ways you can handle and helps you bring out the best in yourself. Even if life is hard, it's not cruel enough to give you problems you can't solve. It will push you to bring out your potential and test you again to ensure you've truly learned the lessons. Some of these tests are brutal while others are relatively easy to pass. But you listeners have probably noticed that sometimes we're tested more than once, and it might even get harder the second or third time. This will be the final summary I'll share with you listeners from this book. It's a book that truly touches the hearts of many. The topics of the subconscious and brain frequencies. The more we absorb positive things in life, the better our thoughts and beliefs become. Chasing a better life isn't easy, and that's why most people choose the easier path. But if you spend time absorbing the lessons from this book and take determined action without giving up, you won't be one of those people. Take small steps, and you'll create unstoppable momentum, bringing you closer to your dreams. What I want you listeners to remember is that every challenge and every mistake has a lesson. Even if you feel terrible at the time, like you want to explode, once you get through it, you'll be able to tell the story with a smile. It's just a twist in the path to excellence. If you give your all to achieve something and it doesn't work out, trust that the universe is telling you it's not the right thing for you. Something better might be on the way. Keep moving forward. Start by trusting your instincts. Listen to the gut feeling that warns you about toxic relationships. Sometimes, when we face oppression, we feel a knot in our stomach or shortness of breath. Listen to the voice in your head telling you that you're wasting your time unnecessarily. Set personal boundaries and ask others to respect them. If something feels off, it probably is. And if something feels incredibly right, it's time to take action. Trust yourself. Let go of fear, and your life will transform from ordinary to extraordinary. You'll connect yourself to greater achievements because when you live life with full effort and a commitment to growth, nothing you do will be in vain. You'll feel the desire to create an exciting and beautiful life. Everything starts with self-love. Building and maintaining high vibrations will help you turn your dreams into reality. Even if it takes time, your high vibrations will keep you feeling good throughout the journey. Feeling good is everything we truly need, right? Starting to love yourself will help you achieve what you want. It's as simple as taking a walk in the park. It might take time and require sacrifices, but the rewards are always worth it. This is a lesson from the book Good Vibes, Good Life. It uses positive energy to attract strength and is a book that makes you feel good about yourself. It helps us reflect on our beliefs and our surroundings, including relationships. In the first part, I talked a lot about relationships. In this part, we'll revisit experiences, lessons from mistakes, opportunities, and successes. This will be the topic I've divided into 2 parts so you listeners can enjoy the content of this book fully. That's all for now. I hope all of you listeners live a life filled with positive energy, attracting happiness into your lives. Today I'll take my leave. Goodbye.